Okay, this one's a little scary because this is going to be the first in a series of videos that are going to be a little bit different as I dive into the process of revisiting and revising the very first book that I ever wrote 8 years ago. I'm doing this series for two reasons. The first is just for my own sake, if I'm being perfectly honest. This one feels more challenging, a little scarier. For reasons I'll talk about in a minute, this book is very important to me. I feel like I have more of my own identity attached to it or wrapped up in it. And let me know in the comments if you understand what that feels like. Like certain projects, you care about them in a different way, and whether or not you execute them well matters to a different degree. This is that for me. But also the bigger reason in some ways is that I do think it will be helpful for many of you who are maybe at a similar place where I was at a different point in the past, or a similar place to where I am right now. I remember when I was learning how to be a writer, like how to write well. It's such a multifaceted skill set, like really developing a nuanced, effective, dynamic, complex, layered, well-written story. There's a lot to it, and I would have given anything to have another author who was further along than me, who'd walked a few more miles down this path, not even so much on the technical side, but kind of on the bigger picture, some of the emotional, psychological components of wrestling with writing as art, not just as a product. But also, yes, on the craft side, like the nuances and the dynamics of how you take the core of a good story and take it from being a good story to a great story in a lot of subtle but very important ways, which can be hard to keep track of. I would have loved to have someone kind of pull back the curtain and just talk to me about their process of doing that so that I could learn from that. So that is what I hope this series will be for you. It is not, I will be honest, it is probably not going to be as hyper-focused and organized and coherent as I try to make a lot of my other teaching style videos, where it's like, here's 5 tips for how to do a better job of your opening chapter, or I'm going to keep doing those videos, don't worry, but I'm going to make this a playlist because I think there's value in this kind of conversation, and at least in my own experience, I haven't found it in a lot of other places, so I figured, hey, if I'm going to be diving into this process anyway, why not open it up and share it with you in the hopes that maybe it will help you in some way. As with many hard things in life, I think this will probably go a lot better with some coffee. So let's start with that. So, properly armed and equipped and fortified for the battle ahead, let me talk a little bit about how I'm going to be approaching this. So it's been almost 8 years since I wrote and published my very first novel, Fire in the Dawn, which was intended to be the first book in, at the time I was thinking a trilogy. Realistically, at this point, it's probably going to be more like 4 or 5 books. But it was the story that originally made me want to become an author. It made me want to learn how to write well so that I could tell it. When I was 15, I woke up from this really vivid dream that heavily featured this character in this world, and I tried to write it, and as most of us have discovered, writing is a skill set, not a talent. So even though I had read my entire life, my original writing sucked, just like everyone's original writing sucks when you try to dive into writing a full novel for the first time, especially in my case, a multi-layered epic fantasy novel with original world building and all these other things. Like, it was a big lift. Thankfully, at the time, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Sometimes it helps to not understand why the thing you're doing is going to be so difficult. But it was the pursuit of writing that story that propelled me through years of reading books on writing craft and practicing and revising and scrapping the book and starting it over and scrapping it and starting it over until I lost count, going to creative writing classes in college, and then eventually going to a master's program at Oxford. While I was at Oxford, this book was the thing that I turned into my ultimate final project for the entire 2-year program. I wrote about 1/3 of it and submitted that as my final project. And then in the years after I graduated that program, continued working on it until I finally actually finished it and published it. And man, was that such a great feeling. It was really the turning point where I went from being a writer to truly being an author. Like I had finished a project, I'd finished this book, and I was proud of it. But publishing Fire in the Dawn helped me learn a couple of very important things that I needed to learn. The first was that I had absolutely no clue about publishing. I had spent years and years and years honing writing craft, and I had written a very good book, but had no concept of how to publish it well, how to market it, how to grow an audience, all these other things, which I then very quickly realized was going to mean that very few people were ever going to find or read this book unless I learned those skills. The second thing that it helped me to realize was that, 12, 15 almost years of hard work and slog and revision and starting over and kind of honing my craft through the process of wrestling with this story, while, for as valuable as that was, I was kind of tired. And the thought of diving immediately into writing book 2 when I had been working on this story for so long and then I knew what the plot path was for the second book, but wow, did that feel overwhelming. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't entirely confident in my capacity, my ability as a writer to do the second book justice in any kind of reasonable time frame. I didn't want to spend years and years in the same kind of process. And so it was for that variety of reasons that at that time I eventually decided, instead of diving into the next book of the Twin Skies saga, to kind of take a step back and pivot into a new series that would give me some kind of like a fresh canvas to work in, that I could approach with some different goals in mind, that it would be a series of still fantasy, because that's my genre, but books that were intentionally shorter and faster paced, with a little bit of a different aesthetic, maybe slightly less of a heavy emphasis on lyrical prose and intense, in-depth epic fantasy world building, like still world building, but just not as intensive a lift, because I think intuitively and even consciously, I knew I needed more water under my bridge. I needed more practice, both from the writing side, but especially on the publishing side. Like I needed to write books that I could actually finish so that I could, put in my 10,000 hours on the publishing side of things. And so for all of those reasons, I dove into writing the Far Shore Chronicles. And that's a series of books that I love and I'm so proud of. I'm currently working on book 7, the last book in this series. I'm so excited to finish out Charity's story, and the characters and that world is very important to me and I'm proud of them. But the world and the characters of Tira in the Twin Skies saga has really never let me go. It's one of those things where if you step back and say, like, if I was on my deathbed and I was looking back on my life, like if I didn't write this story all the way through, it's not that my life would have failed, but at some fundamental level, I would feel like I had missed it. And I had missed it just because I was afraid, or I didn't put in the time or the energy or whatever it is. I think we all have those things where if we're really honest with ourselves, there are certain things that you just know you need to do. And for me as a writer, this is one of them. But yeah, it's scary and daunting and kind of overwhelming to think about going back to this story that at one level I know very well, and at another level it's been 8 years since I've really looked at it. It's certainly been 8 years since I've read it page for page or thought heavily about it. I mean, it's been in my mind, but really worked on it. And there's an element of, gosh, can I even do it? That feels like a big stretch, all these other things. But I turned 40 this year. And end of year holidays, as you can see from the delightful arrangement of Christmas decor behind me. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting on what I want the next year to look like. And it's time. Like, it's time to tackle this and pull it apart, roll up my sleeves and see what we're working with and really fully engage the revision process. I'm excited to take everything that I've learned and the ways that I have grown and the ways that my skill set has developed, both on the craft side and also my perspective and understanding about just the publishing industry, self-publishing, traditional publishing. That's some stuff we'll talk about later on in this series. And just apply it to polishing up this story. I eventually unpublished the book from Amazon. Like, you can't even find it right now, because after a few years, I left it up for a while, but I realized, like, for as much as I'm proud of it and for as much as I do feel like broadly I hit the mark, it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be, because my capacity as an artist, as a writer, wasn't fully up to par. And if I'm being honest with myself, for as much as in some ways it's still scary, I feel like I'm ready. Like, I feel like I am ready and able to do a better job, to kind of do this story justice, or at least we're gonna try. My plan for today, and I'll share this process with you guys, is gonna be to crack open Fire in the Dawn and read it. Not, obviously I can't read the whole book, but to get started, to read the opening couple, at least the first few chapters, because like I said, it's been like 8 years since I have read it. I remember very much what the plot structure of the book is, like I know what's in there, but you know, word for word, line for line, if I'm being honest, I'm a little afraid of what I'm gonna find in there. Like, I might hate it. And that's part of maybe why I've been avoiding this, is there's a part of me that's like, oh God, what if I read it and it's just like unsalvageable, and maybe my own recollection that it was okay, that it was good enough is wrong. And that, you know, today writer Justin will look back at 8 years ago writer Justin and be like, wow, it's cute that you tried, but no. And then what do I do? Like, I am not ready to, and I don't want to try to rewrite the entire book from scratch. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that in a minute based on what I see here. Hopefully, you know, I don't hate it. And then, you know, we'll start with that process of just kind of taking inventory, taking stock. This series is gonna also provide a good chance to talk about how I think about the revision process. Typically with the revision process, what I mean is like when you have your first draft of your manuscript, there's work to do to polish it and perfect it, and to both at like a big picture narrative structure and craft level, you know, thinking about subplots and character arcs, but also at a line for line prose writing level, you know, polishing up your actual paragraphs and sentences to make them better, and all, like, so from the micro to the macro, the revision process that you do. But typically, you're not revising something that's 8 years old. More often than not, you're revising something that you wrote semi-recently, and so there's not such a weird, you know, gap, both in your own recollection of the thing itself, but also such a weird gap in your like, you just wrote it, so whatever you just wrote is probably a reasonable representation of your current capacity as an author. Whereas I don't know what I'm gonna find, but that's probably, you know what, I'm probably procrastinating this a little bit. I think where we're gonna start is diving in. I'm gonna read for a little bit. I obviously will fast forward this for you, and then we'll circle back around, talk about what I see, and kind of lay out the path forward for where we go from here. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Oh, by the way, don't laugh at my dad's slip. You can laugh, what am I kidding? Yes, you can laugh at my dad's slippers. It's cold in here. So this is me trying to comfort myself. Gosh, I'm turning into my dad, aren't I? Okay, well, you know what? We only have time for one existential crisis today, and that is this book. So, you know, bear with my dad attire, and yeah, let's start reading. Okay, well, broadly good news. I don't, in fact, hate it. I'm still settling into that. No, it's interesting. I mean, obviously I can tell that I wrote it 8 years ago, but it turns out 8 years ago I knew how to write, you know, in English, and the story itself, the core of it is what I remember. It's there. I already have a lot of early thoughts about what the revision process is probably gonna look like, and what some of the things are gonna need to tackle, and you know, so I'm only a few chapters in. Obviously one of the first tasks is going to be to read the whole thing, because obviously, you know, page by page, scene by scene, chapter by chapter, that's one thing, but like a book is also a whole unit, and thinking about it in terms of like the overall scope of the whole thing and how it holds together will be important. So I think that we're going to wrap here as far as this video. I'm going to take some time and read it, digest it, process it. In the next video in this series, I will probably, by then, will be at a place to lay out a little bit more clear of a path forward and talk more coherently about what the revision process is going to involve, what it's going to look like, what it means in general, but then also in the specific, what are some of the main things that I need to work on for this book, and then we'll be able to kind of take it bit by bit from here. Like I said, this series is going to be a little bit of a travelogue, if you will, of this process start to finish. It will eventually include specific looks at different aspects of craft. I'm sure that I'm going to have some work to do with shoring up characterization and character arcs and subplots and prose writing and all these different things. So it will provide a really nice vehicle for talking about some of those aspects in a more conversational way. But it's also going to involve some decisions that I need to make and think about what I'm going to do with this book when it's finished. I have not really decided yet whether I'm going to look into traditional publishing, and perhaps this series will morph into a process of how you prepare your book to query for agents, or whether I'm going to stick with like the self-publishing route, at which point it will be an updated and more thorough conversation about how do you do a book launch, based on everything I've learned since then, and so on and so forth. So not sure how long it's going to go, but I am pretty sure that it's going to be useful. So if that sounds interesting to you and you haven't yet, please do remember to subscribe to the Story Castle for all of our normal type videos, and also for this series in an ongoing way. And thank you for joining me on this journey. I think it's going to be a good one.